of First Avenue.
Well, the goal here is to create a million theremin solos.
Very
good. No, actually, we've talked about that a lot. Why don't you tell them something with we
talked about
you know, the idea of how we're going to have other choirs do it. You know, the things we're going to send out. And this is actually an update to the whole Schirmer 19th century model of printing. Why don't you talk about what we want to send along with it?
That you would send, when you'd have these loops that would go, you'd hear every sound, what you would approximate. How someone does a seagull is however they want to do it, or a dog bark. But I can teach you how to do a dog bark, not by ruff, ruff, like that, but you inhale. So it sounds more distant. That's easy.
But we're going to have a video
clips. We can have video
clips that we're going to send with the piece, so that every chorus will get the Fred Newman training course in how to make all these sounds.
We got to hear it first. You just hear what, and then you approximate. You do your in among. If you can get, I'm not sure how many people will ultimately have, but between 30 to 60 people, that of those, there's somebody who can bark like a dog. There's somebody who can do a seagull. This is got, or maybe they. You do it different ways, but you'll find your own seagull in there and your own, those, right. Yeah.
But also, once we've done the first performance, that will be a document. You know, one of the other interesting things is that these days, you know, it used to be in the 19th century, the prime document of transmission was a printed piece of paper, a score. But you know, now one of the documents for this piece will be actually the first performance. So that tape and hearing what we do will actually be what the next group will get. And then also Fred's addendum, which will be each sound that's used, a description of how to make that sound, and an actual sound. When first Fred sent me the first stuff, he had an MP3 file embedded in a Word document, and each sound was titled, and you could literally hear that sound. And there's a description of how to make it. So that's a whole new concept of what you send as a piece of music. And I love that idea that it sort of expands.
But it's not unlike your book.
Yes,
your book is online, so you can go in and hear the music.
Go in and actually hear the music.
So I think that the fact that if you have this piece, you can adapt it to your town, change the names of the stops,
right?
And it's the same. It's the same bus sounds wherever you go. I mean,
right.
Even in Europe, you change the. You change the sirens. That's all you change. That's the only accent that changed. The rest of the sounds are the same. But I think it could be adaptable, but. Downloadable. I mean, all that stuff you can download, you can hear, you can see.
In fact, I think it would be great if Schirmer could actually just put that stuff online, and then whoever's going to perform it, watches, and it just, I think it's a recognition that it's a multimedia world, and why not take advantage of it, and why be limited? I mean, to some degree, I have to put it on a printed page, but I'm thinking of this piece as the printed page plus Fred's addendum, and that would be part of the fun of the piece as well, is, hearing that sound, trying to do it. I mean, Fred has this wonderful book called Mouth Sounds, and in it is a book of but it's great. It's a book of all these sound effects, and each page is a description of how to do it, and there's a CD that goes with it where you can actually hear him doing it, and that's how you learn the sounds. Mm-hmm. And that was what I imagined is the model of how they would do it. So it changes also your whole process of what is a rehearsal. I mean, the first rehearsal is a series of, here's the 50 sounds in the piece, let's learn how to do the dog bark, let's learn how to do the cell phone ring.
And we did
a sample.
We did sort of
a trial.
It was kind of tryouts with people in the
choir.
See what the choir could do. And I took them through a lot of different sounds. We tried something, threw out a lot. You got to sort of get it down to essence. What really is the key sounds that are reproducible that you could do.
All right. And they do them a little different, but sometimes they surprise us. Like they had a fantastic beatboxer. Mm-hmm. That kid was just awesome. So it also actually accesses different expertises on the part of the chorus that they might not even know they had, or that traditional music doesn't. Who knew that was a valuable trait? Who could do the best siren? But there it is. And that's the other thing. They'll notice it more. I'm telling you, it makes you really sensitive to the environment you're in. So I think it's going to be fun. Where I'm at the annoying phase where I have to actually figure out how to put it down on paper at this moment. But the whole thing has just been fun. And whatever I guess was hard for us is really what was fun for me of the project. Because writing a 3.5-minute choral piece is something I've done many times. But this kind of working relationship every single step of the way was something I had never done, from downloading the kind of program I'm writing from, learning how that program worked, working with Fred. Every aspect of it is something new, but that's the fun part, and it will be completely new experience for the chorus. They've never done anything like it. So I think it's been fun.
Well, you have 1 foot in another century. And I mean,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 centuries.
Yeah, right.
That you have a foot there.
Right.
That you're pulling through this. And I'm just, a country kid that made sounds because I had too much free time as a kid. And I took that to New York City, the same sounds, or, I'm still doing the same thing. But you put that sort of folk thing with this sort of tradition of written down
Right.
choral music. It's really interesting.
But also add in really 21st. I mean, you have a foot in the folk, but you also have a foot in the ultra
I'm a geek.
21st
I'm a
century
geek.
technology stuff, because the actual programming that you're working with is completely up to the minute right
Yeah,
now.
that's good.
So it's a real merger of old world composition on a piece of paper with a pencil, folk tradition of making sounds, but a 21st century technology version of those sounds, and putting the whole thing together.
You should be a spokesman. I'm telling you.
If the music thing doesn't work out,
That's right,
I'll be your
absolutely.
spokesman.
That's-
I'll be your spokesperson. But yeah, so that's basically the context for it. So we'll see how it all comes out.
Let's go to First Avenue.
Mommy, look, a fire show. Is that seat taken?
Your umbrella's in my back. Hold on, Your umbrella's in my back.